Hello everyone, Parallel here and welcome to Star Trek Online. In this video, I wanted to give a brief guide on the Omega Particle minigame. Now I guess just to start with the basics here, what is this minigame and why would you want to do it? So this minigame, the Omega Particle minigame, is part of the 6th anniversary event in Star Trek Online that's going on right now. And in fact, this same event was, or the same minigame was part of last year's anniversary event as well. So I get the feeling this is going to be a pretty staple part of the anniversary event each year, this Omega Particle minigame. And why you would want to do this is several reasons. I guess the first reason is if you want to actually get the anniversary ship, you have to do this minigame because it is part of the daily quest that you need to do from Q. So if I go here to my Reputation tab and pull up the project here, so here is the project for the 2016 anniversary event. It is the Krenim Science Ship. It's a Tier 6 science ship, which is great, particularly if you're Romulan or Klingon. This is probably the best science ship you'll have access to for a while. So this is definitely something you want to complete, but to do this you need to get these anniversary vouchers. And to get these, you have to complete the daily quest from Q. You can talk to Q on either, any of the major hubs, so Earth Space Dock, Kronos, or New Romulus. These right there like he normally is. You just talk to him and get this Q quest. I have the quest over here. Basically what you have to do is you have to go to 3 areas, and these areas are random, or 3 systems, and do this mini game in each one of those systems. And when you complete that, you will get 40 prize vouchers, and you can start to work towards your Krenim ship. So that's one reason why you'd want to do this. The other reason is sort of a side effect, but if you want to grind this mini game even more than just doing the daily, you actually get a very, very nice upgrade called the Omega upgrade, and or Omega Particle Tech upgrade. This thing is amazingly awesome, and so this is another reason to do this mini game. And you want to grind out this mini game as much as you can during this event, because these Omega upgrades are astoundingly great. They are just the best upgrade quality out there you can get. And you can see I moused over here, and that is because they give a 4x quality improvement chance. These Omega upgrades are your best way to actually get your get your purple gear up to epic gear. So these are very, very valuable, and the more you grind the minigame, the more you can get these. Alright, so that's just a quick overview there. I thought I would just also give a few quick tips on how to actually do the mini game successfully. So let's head out here. I'm actually in Wolf 359, which is part of my quest here for the daily. So let's head out into space. Let's leave the ship. So I have a few tips here on how to complete the mini game, make it a little bit easier. I've seen some people struggle with this in videos before, and there are a few small tips. But mostly you just need to practice it. So there's actually one main tip, and I'll get to that right away here. So you can see I'm actually here in Wolf 359, and there's actually, if you just kind of look around, and if you go to one of these areas where the Omega particles spawn, you'll just see them spawn out in space. They look like a little Omega symbol rotating, and there's 3 different colors. And so right here in Wolf 359, it's actually blue Omega particles. You can see I got a bunch of them here within range. So to actually start the minigame, you just click on Stabilize Omega Particle, and away you go. It'll start the minigame. Before I do that though, well, I can start it right now. And before I actually initiate it by clicking Ready, I can give a couple quick tips. First tip, number 1, use the mouse. I've seen a lot of people try to complete this minigame with the keyboard, and it is virtually impossible to get a good score on this minigame with the keyboard. It just doesn't happen. Especially towards the end when the Omega particles start speeding up, you are going to have a lot of problems. You're just going to miss way too many, and you'll never get a good score. So use the mouse, and I'll kind of show that as I'm going here. Just a couple other small tips to keep in mind. The Omega particles As you know, in this mini game, the mega particles kind of come down these 4 lanes, and you have to absorb them as they get to the right-hand side here. And they start coming down these 4 lanes faster and faster, and in strange patterns, and it gets more and more difficult towards the end of the game. Each game lasts exactly 50 seconds, so you just have to try to collect as many as you possibly can during that 50 seconds to get your high score. Now, just one thing to keep up to keep in mind as you are collecting these the particles that come across, it starts to fill up this kind of octagon area over here on the right. Each time this fills up, that indicates when the speed increase is going to happen. I'll try to show that as it happens each time here as I go through. It does take a little bit of concentration, honestly, to do this well. So, but at each time this, the circle over here fills up, that indicates when you're going to get another speed increase in how fast the particles are coming across the lanes. So those are just a couple tips here, but definitely, you've got to use the mouse to do this. So let's go ahead and get started. I usually like to keep my mouse right here, right along the right-hand side, right about where the particle hits this line. There you see it's about to fill up, and there's the speed increase. You also notice the points go up faster and faster as well. The more particles you collect, the more points it's worth. So another tip is you can kind of see the rhythm to it. All right, there we go. So perfect score. So perfect score is 2,700. That means if you don't miss a single particle, that is the max you can get. So I'll go over the scoring, I guess, here, just to give you a little bit of hint. When I collect the rewards, you'll see here what is the top possible reward. Is to get 1 omega sliver, which is the green, and then you get 3 traces. There is actually a slight random chance of getting a bonus higher quality than green. You can either get the bonus omega shard or a bonus even omega fragment, which is very rare. Again, those are pretty rare, but you do, I think if you get a higher score, it gives you a slightly better chance to get them. It's still pretty low chance. I would estimate it at about maybe 10 to 20% of getting one of these other random bonuses at the end. But the scoring is a little bit, it's pretty simple. There's just a couple breakpoints you want to worry about. So you want to get a score of at least 2,300 to get the top reward. So if you get 2,300 to 2,700, that means you'll get the reward that I just got. The one sliver, and then 3 traces, and the random chance of getting one of the blue or purple. So that's what you want to shoot for, 2,300. So practice it, and you can get to that point where you can complete 2,300. It's pretty standard. Even that allows you to miss maybe 4 or 5 particles at the most, and you'll still get a 2,300 score. If that's too hard for you, then at least aim for the other breakpoint, which is at 1,700 points, which means you'll at least get one of the slivers. And then you'll also get 1 trace. These slivers, you can craft these by putting together 1 trace of each type, or of each color. But if you at least aim for that 1,700 points, you'll get 1 sliver right off the bat. That's worth 3 traces, so that's pretty good. That's kind of a good, kind of break point to go for. And you can get a 1,700 score. You can miss quite a few particles and still get 1,700. So that's how the scoring works. Now, one other thing to keep in mind to try to optimize your time here is, you want to try to go to a good location to farm these. You can actually see here that Wolf 359 is a very good place if you want to get blue particles. You can see I got tons in range here. It means I can run this mini game over and over and over again, and I won't even have to move. The particles usually spawn in pretty fast, and you won't have to worry about moving all around to try to get to the next particle to win the next game. Now, Q sends you to different systems each day. It's kind of a random selection. So you can kind of get a hang of, which systems have better, density of the actual omega particles, so you don't have to fly around and move around as much in between mini games, and it makes it a little bit quicker to farm them. I found typically the space zones are usually a little bit better than the ground zones. They have a better density of the omega particles, a lot less moving around. Alright, so there we go. Another 2,700. Oh, sweet, and there you go. So I got an actual bonus. So that's the bonus, the blue omega shard, and then I got the same standard reward, the 3 traces and 1 sliver. So that's actually very, very good. The extra blue or purple quality you can get is a very nice bonus for that. But to continue on the discussion about some locations, some other good locations, I actually like Vulcan in space. Lots of good, that's also good for blue particles. Earth Space Talk in space is good for red particles. I also like Starbase 39 Sierra. That's actually also good for, I believe it's yellow. That's pretty decent. But it's really personal preference. You can find the zone that works best for you. Just typically I found space to be better than ground. Ground, usually there's just like one particle and you have to run pretty far to get to the next one, so avoid that. So I guess that hopefully that helps. Just make sure you use the mouse. Make sure you're prepared for those speed increases when the yellow circle of the mini game fills up, because you can easily miss a particle because there's like a little speed jump right when the circle fills up when you've collected that molecule. So you got to be a little bit prepared for that speed increase. And then otherwise, just keep your mouse movements to a minimum. Don't do too much extraneous movement. You want to keep it controlled and within the 4 lanes, like I was doing during the minigame. And I guess last thing, just don't get too burned out on this. I try to farm about 30 minigames per day, which doesn't take too long, about 30 minutes basically, because each minigame is 50 seconds. So I spend about 30 minutes. And what that will guarantee you, if you get at least that 2300 score breakpoint in each run, that is basically each day you have farmed yourself up at least 1 omega upgrade. Actually, it's a little bit more than an omega upgrade because you also get the 3 traces. So, because it takes 27 of the green slivers, it takes 27 of these in order to make an omega upgrade. So you get, if you run the game 30 times, that's a little bit over 1 omega upgrade, probably about 1 1/3 omega upgrade, and that's a pretty good clip. I found if I do it much longer than that, I start to go crazy, and I don't want to do the minigame anymore. So try to keep it limited. I mean, you could try, if you're desperate, you want to farm this thing for hours. If you can actually stand it, it's really is worth it for the omega upgrades. But if you just spread it out over the duration of the event, which is about a month long. It's a little bit better just to kind of limit yourself to about 30 mini games per day. At least that's about what I can stand. And yeah, so I think that's about it, everyone. I just wanted to give you that quick guide and a few tips on how to be successful at the omega stabilization mini game. And earn yourself at least 1 omega upgrade per day, and it's really, really worth it. Now, I am actually planning to do another little video coming up here in a few days, maybe this weekend, a little bit of guide on how to actually craft the omega upgrades and how to best utilize them and how to best utilize that 4x quality increase bonus. Because omega particles, or omega upgrades, are really the best way to get the quality upgrades. I wouldn't necessarily use them, just to dump a lot of tech points into an upgrade. If you want to do that, you're better off just waiting for one of the weekend upgrade events that come along and just dump in your regular tech upgrades, your regular purple tech upgrades that you get. These omega upgrades, you really want to take advantage of that quality increase. So use these, focus on using these for your for something where you want to increase the quality up to the gold epic quality. And so, like I said, I want to do a video on that. So I'll do a little bit of a guide on how to best utilize the Omega upgrades and how to craft them and everything. I'll go through all of that. There'll be another video coming up, so look forward to that. And for now, everyone, I guess that's it. Good luck out there on your Omega Particle minigame. That's all. Bye for now.